Ooh, I'm excited about this one. We're going brushless. Hey folks, welcome to the video. As I said in the intro, I'm excited about this one. Today we're going to install the Hobbywing Fusion into the Enduro Ecto. Super excited about this. Been after one of these for a while. This is definitely the rig to put one in, I think. Really looking forward to it. So let's get straight in and get that installed. So this is the Hobbywing Quick Run Fusion, 1800 kV, brushless crawler motor and ESC 2-in-1 combo. Awesomeness. Wow. There's quite a lot of stuff in the box there. So there's a manual, programming card, a couple of connectors, some sticky to stick the power switch down, a couple of zip ties to tidy up your wires, some stickers, they'll be going on there for sure, and the main event, which is currently stuck in the packaging. There we go, the Quick Run Fusion 1800 kV 540 spec motor. It's a 40 amp ESC, which I'm quite surprised by actually. I would have thought it would be higher than that, but it obviously doesn't pull more than 40 amps, so they're fairly confident with that, which is good. It's really nicely made, nicely machined. Very excited to get this on the car. First job is going to be removing the old. I'm going to see if I can do this without taking the gearbox off. I think I might be able to, just. That's not going to come out of there because of my battery tray. For anyone that's interested, this is the battery tray that I'm using currently. It's designed to be a low CG tray actually, but you have to flip this chassis mount round, which I haven't done yet. It's quite useful because it has this channel across the middle, which I'll be using later to run the switch wires across. So that's really handy. There is a cover that goes over it, which I did print, but I don't know where it's gone. Right, so I'm going to have to do a bit of rewiring here, and I'm going to have to remove the old ESC, obviously. So we'll do a few disconnections. I'm also going to have to find a new way of powering my lights, because they were previously powered from the auxiliary powers on the ESC. So I'm going to have to remove the ESC wire from this wire shielding that I've put in place, so that's not a problem. And actually that's quite handy because I can run my wires for my lights through that to keep that nice and tidy. And then that's the ESC disconnected, so now I just need to remove it from the mount point where it is firmly stuck. Actually not that firmly stuck. Right, so I've now got a nice handy dandy place where I could mount a little battery. So that's quite nice. Of course at some point there may well be a servo winch going on there, but not at the minute because I'm quite happy with my kinetic winch. So we'll remove the pinion from the old reedy motor, being very careful not to strip it because this is thread locked very well into place. There we go. And just comparing the two in terms of length of the shaft, I think that's going to be about the same. So we should be able to just pop that back pretty much in the same position. So once that's mounted, as you can see, they're pretty much the same length. So we're going to remount the pinion flush to the top, which is where it was, and make sure we get that on the flat side. Always pay attention to which way the pinion is when you take it off. I didn't. So in terms of remounting the motor, there are 6 mounting holes on the face of the motor there, so that's going to allow us some nice adjustment to get that nicely in place where we want it. Okay, so I'm happy with the positioning of the pinion now, so I can mount the motor. Okay, that's interesting. So the motor screws that were on there before are too long. So as you can see, that motor screw is being stopped by the internals of the motor, which is good because there is a sort of cover under there which stops you screwing into the coil, into the windings, which is a good thing. But it does mean that the standard screws are too long. So I'll need to have a route around, see what I can find in terms of alternatives. I haven't got any of these kind of broad flat-headed screws, so I'm going to have to find a normal screw and a washer. So just breaking out the handy screw collection. This is a really useful thing to have. Pick these up on Amazon, loads of choice, and I found that as soon as you start modding these things, you always need different fixings. There's not been an occasion yet where I've not been able to find one in here, so it's great. I'll put some links to that in the description. They are affiliate links, so if you do buy them, it does help the channel. Okay, so I think we've cracked that first time. Good guess, with an 8mm M3 screw. So I've attached the motor, but I have left it a little bit loose for now because we need to make sure we get the gear mesh correct. So I'm going to grab some paper. This handy piece of instruction manual will do the job. And what we'll do is we'll insert that between the pinion and the spur gear, press it up nice and snug, and then we can tighten the screws into place. And what that piece of paper is doing is just ensuring that there is the tiniest gap in between the pinion and the spur, and you can just feel it. So my intention is to run the on-off switch just here, and then I'll run that through the battery tray, as you saw earlier. I'm going to put that on a slight angle like that, and I can still access the programming port, which is just here, and the wires won't be in the way. The nice people at Hobbywing do provide you with a nice sticky pad for this. And that's where I'm going to put that, because once the body's on, I'll be able to just reach underneath, switch it on and off. Right, so that's our install done. I shall now consult the manual and make sure that any calibration routines are run. First thing to note, props off, or in this case, wheels off the ground. I don't want this thing flying off the table. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got some power, radio is on, throttle is neutral. We're going to hold down the power button until it starts flashing, and it should emit a beep. Okay, so that's beeping. So first one, throttle in the neutral position, press the button. Okay, and then we want full throttle forward, press the button, should get 2 beeps, and then full throttle backwards or reverse, press the button again, should get 3 beeps, and that's done, and that's all good to go. That's it. We should now have a very slow crawl. Oh, look at that! First thing you notice is going the wrong way, so I do need to reverse the motor direction. So let's get that programming card in and find out how you do all of that. Okay, so we're all connected up. Just be sure to get the signal wire in the right place, check the polarity, and you're good to go. So we power on the ESC. And there we are, we're into programming mode. So the first thing we've got is the RPM throttle matching. That's enabled by default. I'm going to leave that because I really want to try that out. LiPo cells is set to auto by default. Cutoff voltage is set to intermediate. that's fine. I'll leave that. Doesn't actually tell you what those voltages are anywhere, but I'm sure it'll be okay. Thermal protection is set to 105 centigrade. I'll just leave that. Motor direction is counterclockwise. I want clockwise, please. And then OK. Beck I need to leave at 6 volts because my servo will not take 7.4 volts. Drag brake force is set to 5, which is about half. I'll leave that for now. And drag brake rate is also set to 5, which is about halfway, which I will leave. And reverse is set to 100%. I'm going to change that to 50 for now. Okay. And that's it. Programmed up, ready to go. So let's power off. And hopefully now the wheels will turn in the right direction. And look how slow that is. Oh my goodness. So there we go. A super easy install, apart from the fact that I made it difficult for myself by not taking the gearbox out and being lazy. But really, actually very straightforward, even with the gearbox still in. I am super impressed with this. Really, really good. The slow speed control is insane. It is so slow, it's brilliant. It just absolutely crawls along at a snail's pace. Really, really good, really controllable as well. So one of the things that I've had a problem with from the start with the Ecto is the controllable or uncontrollable ESC, particularly. The drag brake was super harsh. The sort of low end control wasn't non-existent, that's unfair to say, but it was really jumpy and really twitchy, even with a ton of expo on the radio. So I'm really pleased that by putting this Hobbywing in, and obviously it comes with a new ESC as built in as part of it, but with the Fusion in place, all of those issues are gone. It is super controllable at the low end. The startup is just so smooth, really, really good. So impressed with it. In terms of punch, I think with the 18 tooth pinion, it's still got enough. It isn't super fast. It certainly isn't as quick as it used to be, but it's certainly quicker than walking pace, which is really all you need for a crawler. It does still have some punch, and that is still useful for getting it just over the top of items or just getting it started on a climb. I don't think there's really much else I can say about this. It's absolutely the best upgrade I've put on there so far. Yes, it's the most expensive. I think overall, though, it's a really reasonable price. I'll put some links in the description as to where you can get hold of one of these if you fancy going down the same route. Just want to take a second to say thank you to everybody that's subscribed to the channel so far. I really do appreciate it. If you're getting some value and you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so down here somewhere. If you want some more info on the Element Ecto, I'll put you a playlist just here. And if you want to know how to install the overdrive that comes in the box, I'll put you a video down here. Thanks for joining me today. In the next video, we're going to be installing an interior. Bye for now.